All right, now how many people have heard of this guy? Hi, I'm Billy Mays, and I'm here to introduce a great new product that will save you time and money. Now it's true, this product may indeed save you time and money, which you all need. Problem is, what are you going to do with all that new time and money? That is the problem. As our society advances in the fields of sciences, we are now developing new technologies that is inherently harming us rather than trying, which is also a side effect of what it is actually doing, helping us. The problem with that is we don't seem to be fixing these problems. We doesn't want to admit that we are fixing what our technology is supposed to be helping. For instance, our new technologies now is putting people out of jobs. We are now becoming more lazy as a society, and certain effects are quite dangerous to the society at hand. For the meantime, we will now stick to smaller bits of technology in leisure and military use. First off, in leisure, many people who has a job? Not many. But the problem is now that all these jobs require a certain amount of knowledge, and that knowledge is equated to how well you can perform it. And also, the fact there is now, we are now developing new pieces of technology that will do that for us. For example, when the assembly line was built, when Henry Ford built the assembly line, it has assembled cars in a much faster rate than any human possibly could, therefore putting most people out of a job. And as it stands right now, in March of 2009, 8.5 million people were out of a job. It did not specify whether or not this was because of advanced technology or not. But I'm assuming, which is bad, but I'm assuming that some of it is due to because they don't have the proper knowledge to do this. Also, as our technology advances, I've noticed that technology has gotten smaller and smaller to be more compact and fit into tighter spaces. But because of that, old, outdated pieces of technology are no longer used and just pile up somewhere and don't really have a use anymore. And now that what are we doing with all of this piled up technology that we've once considered the pinnacle of what we can make and is now just yesterday's news? And with all these people out of a job, what do people do with all this time to spare? Well, they use this new technology. Now, everybody here probably has a cell phone, a television, a computer. Now, most of you will just sit down and either talk on the phone, watch some television, or play some computer games or search on the internet. Now, there's not much to that. There is very little physical activity in this. So, as you may know, the U.S. is considered the most obese country in the world, and I believe this is because of that. Also, we have new medical technology that helps with our health problems, such as obesity. We have diet pills, we have liposuction, which will essentially remove the fat for you. Essentially, we are providing humans and society with the easy way out, which is what everyone is looking for, which is not exactly the best way. And when people are provided with this technology, sometimes it is not for the most beneficial of reasons. As you may have been aware, on April 1st, 2009, a group of hackers unleashed a worm that would essentially record everything that was typed on the computer and essentially send it back to them so that they could steal your information. Also, on August 6, 1945, the U.S. deployed its first atomic weapon upon Japan, which annihilated 2 cities and left the place uninhabitable for over a year. Also, as I stated, technology is growing, and what do people do? Well, this old technology actually goes to Nigeria in a landfill, which is then just piling up. Now, sometimes they will try to burn the technology to reuse the metals. But as the old metals burn, it is actually introducing harmful chemicals into the water system that is now affecting the citizens of Nigeria. Now, that is much I say, but I'm not telling you to not purchase this new technology if you need it. If you need it, by all means, go ahead. What I'm saying is, if you don't need it, do you really need to go out and buy it and support it? Do we need to hurt ourselves more? And that's all.
All right, Kyle, you have an okay story to start with. It's not really closely related to the topic, but it does draw us in a bit. There's not a clear proposition. We know the general direction that you're going, but you need that propositional statement that we talked about, and we don't really get that here. If you had that propositional statement, you'd also be able to use it at the end and avoid that exit line, that's all. There's a little bit of layout of the structure. You kind of mentioned that we're going to be talking about leisure and military, and that's about as close as you come to any signposting that's going to occur in the structure of the speech. After that, although supporting ideas come up, they're not usually stated as declarative sentences. They're often introduced by an example without telling us what inference we should draw from that example, and that's going to be problematic. Most of the examples that you have are hypothetical in nature. You have a couple of actual factual data examples that there's not going to be much dispute on. The atomic weapons being dropped, it's 2 bombs, not 1. The worm that you're talking about that's creating the problem, again, I don't think there's too much dispute on those kinds of things. But that's the kind of general information. I could have given this speech, you know, the 10 minutes after it was assigned. It doesn't really appear that there's much research into the presentation. There's no source citations in the presentation for any of your information. There's no statistical information except the one piece of information about the number of people who are unemployed. And I'm not sure that you even got that accurate. I think that you make a lot of assumptions, like you said yourself, that there's a relationship between technology and unemployment. I think that there's a problem there. You make this whole argument about landfills in Nigeria and people there being poisoned by this, but I don't get any citation of this. I don't have any proof. There's not an article that you're citing. I don't know anybody who's been hurt because of this. I've just got your say-so about it. And I don't think that that's very confidence building. You need to be a little bit more confident as a speaker also, and I think if you had more substantive research to support your position, you'd probably be able to deliver it with greater degree of confidence. The exit, like I said, I've already told you that that's not really a very good exit line. You do remind us a little bit about what the main point was. All right, thank you.